Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
This election that just concluded in Edo State, I don't know why it's difficult for all our politicians to accept defeat. I don't know. None of them, to me, except Jonathan, and kudos to him, because President Jonathan, he had everything that time to say no, but he's the first person to come out on national television to congratulate Muhammadu Buhari. I still respected him a lot. To me, there's no election in this country. They are just selecting each other. We just have to say the reality and the facts. What happened in Edo State? Accepted the organized election, they vote for their choice, and what happened to Obaseki? To me, that is politician for you. They normally betray themselves. You will see what is going to happen to Oshiomole and this incoming governor. He's going to repeat himself. To me, the reason why I blame Obaseki is because you are not supposed to downgrade your Oba. Oba of Benin is very powerful. Oba of Benin is very powerful. Most of Oba of Benin, they have integrity. The way they carry themselves. You cannot compare Oba of Benin with all these Oba we are seeing in some of these Yoruba lands that just disgrace themselves because of money. But for you to disagree, accepted that we need to disagree in order to agree. But even if you want to disagree, you have to disagree. You have to respect him before you disagree. But this election, Labour Party, they play a major role. You might think maybe Labour Party is a small party, but they are trying, because this is the only party that many youths believe, oh, this is where our hope is. But I want to tell you one thing. None of them is saints. They are politicians. They are playing game. The only thing that just happened is, you see, we allow our problem to be thinking for us because of what we are facing presently. What TINUBU put us through. We are feeling that pain. That is why we believe that Labour Party is Messiah. I'm not saying they are not Messiah. I'm not Peter Obi cannot do it. He can. It's when he come there, when he become the president, then we can now say, okay, this is what they are doing. I want to play one video of Olumide Akpata. I love the way he talk. That is how politicians are supposed to talk. But what I just don't really understand is, why is it difficult for them to accept defeat? There's election in Edo. It's not perfect. No doubt about that. No election is perfect in this country. They are just selecting themselves. No election is perfect. But the one they do, why is it difficult for them to, anytime, if it's APC that won that election, they will say, oh, INEC is good. The security, they are doing fine. If it's PDP, oh, INEC is good. They are very fine. If it's Labour Party, INEC is good. Why is it that when you lose election, it's difficult for you to accept that defeat? Let's all watch this program, this Olumide interview together.
Well, on a personal level, I'm okay. I feel good. I'm happy to be alive. You know, God gives life, and one must be grateful for every day. With regard to the elections of Saturday, as I said in the press briefing that I held today, it is with mixed feelings that I reflect on all that transpired on Saturday. Firstly, as has been pointed out by many others, that election was fraught with irregularities. There are so many questions that remain unanswered regarding the kind of numbers that have come out of that election. Voter intimidation, vote manipulation, all sorts of things, the kind of numbers that have come out of Oredo local government area, kind of numbers that have come out of Igbo Bauha local government area. Many questions that we would continue to seek for answers. However, one was also taken aback by the level of vote buying that took place on Saturday openly in such a brazen manner all across the state. And so that is why I say it wasn't an election, it was a transaction. And it's quite unfortunate because it was a willing seller and willing buyer situation. So I am not going to just apportion blame only to those who were buying. The people seemed very ready to sell their votes. The people seemed very ready or wanted to be compensated for voting. It was quite...
They will be ready to buy. They are ready to sell their votes. Do you know those people who are hungry? These people, they intentionally, all these things they are doing for us, they know what they are doing. They want poverty to increase in this country so that they will keep winning the election. Let's continue.
It was quite tragic. There was a particular polling unit where the people were agitating to be paid as much as others were paid in other units. So it's quite tragic. And so for me, I think that that is something that one must really examine. Yes, the process was fraught with irregularities. Yes, I think INEC got it wrong in certain circumstances, but one cannot run away from the fact that the people themselves have decided to embrace their captors. The people themselves decided to embrace the two political parties who could offer them money for their votes. So for me, that is food for thought. One really has to consider this and wonder how we have gotten ourselves to this point. Because it was clear from early on in the day that Labour Party was out of this contest because the rules of the game was such that you had to come to the table with a lot of cash. Cash that we do not have, and cash that even if we did have, we had absolutely no intention. We're not inclined to spend money to buy votes. So we were out of contention from very early on in the day. And it now became a contest as between both parties, the PDP and the APC, who could pay more. And so I have little or no sympathy for the PDP who complained today about the process because they were simply outmaneuvered or they were outbidded because it was simply it was a transaction. It was a commercial transaction essentially. Now, what other things that could have happened or may have happened in the course of the day happened on this foundation, on this very, very faulty foundation of vote buying. So everything else that happened, fiddling with the numbers, took place after the transactional part of the exercise was over, where people had been paid. Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South. It was the same story across board. So it's quite tragic. It's quite tragic because one has to really consider, or we have to ask ourselves questions. What do you do when a captive has fallen in love with his or her captor? Because that is the only way I can surmise this. What is known as the Stockholm syndrome. That is the only way I can surmise this. The people, in the course of our campaigns, they were excited. They went around with us. They were very, very, very enthusiastic about change. But in the face of very, very tempting monetary inducement, they could not stick to the plan. They all capitulated. At least not all of them. Please don't let me leave you with the impression that I'm speaking about every voter in Edo State. Please. There are those who came out, yes, voted their conscience and went home. And those are the heroes. Those are the heroes of Saturday. There's the other group who stayed at home, did not bother to come out. That in itself was a choice. And so it is that group who did not come out. And that group who did not come out and made it easier for those who were looking for votes to buy. It reduced the stakes because they had less votes to pay for. And that group who did not come out, combined with that group who came out purely to sell their votes, I think we can lay part of the blame of what happened on Saturday at their doorstep.
To me, I will stop here. You see, I still believe that this country needs to split. Because our politicians, they know our weakening points. They are ready to do and undo to get to that power, to get to that seat. So they know their way. So to me, if you are saying that the election is the election that the election cannot do anything in this country because all these our leaders, they can't do it. That's why I said I still believe this election that just concluded in Edo State. It's not election, it's selection. It's selection. They select themselves. APC select this, PDP select this. You hear vote buying everywhere. We can't continue like this. If we want to move this country forward, we can never continue like this. I won't say much than this. My name is Lekuti Oyemi. Bye for now.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.